Rose's heart pounded like a drum in her chest as she stepped into the dimly lit sauna, the steam wrapping around her like a suffocating embrace. Lila, her best friend since college, sat there wrapped in a towel, her skin glistening under the soft glow, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside Rose. In that moment, driven by years of unspoken longing, Rose leaned in and pressed her lips against Lila's, a kiss that tasted of salt and forbidden desire, shattering the fragile boundary between friendship and something far more dangerous. Lila pulled back, her eyes wide with shock, the heat of the sauna suddenly feeling icy cold. "Rose, what the hell?" she whispered, her voice trembling as she clutched the towel tighter around her body. Rose's mind raced. Had she just ruined everything? The friendship that had been her anchor through breakups, family dramas, and late-night confessions now hung by a thread. All because she couldn't contain the truth any longer. As they sat in stunned silence, Rose's thoughts spiraled inward. Why now? Why here, in this secluded spa in downtown Seattle, where they had come to unwind after a grueling week at work? She had always known she was attracted to women, but Lila was straight, happily dating men, planning futures that didn't include complications like this. Rose replayed the years in her head. The way Lila's laugh lit up rooms, how her touch during hugs lingered just a second too long in Rose's imagination. But society had drilled into her that such feelings were to be buried, especially with a friend who embodied everything normal in their conservative circles. Lila finally spoke, her voice steady but edged with confusion. Have you felt this way for a while? Rose nodded, tears mixing with the sweat on her face. Since sophomore year when we shared that dorm room. I tried to ignore it, Lila. I dated guys, pretended it was just admiration. But being around you, it's torture. Lila's face softened, but there was a flicker of fear. She came from a devout Catholic family in the Midwest, where being gay was whispered about like a curse. Her parents had already disapproved of her moving to the liberal West Coast. This could be the final blow. They left the sauna without another word, the drive home thick with unspoken accusations. Rose gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles white. What if Lila hated her now? What if this kiss exposed her to the judgment of their mutual friends, the ones who threw barbecues and baby showers, assuming everyone fit neatly into heterosexual boxes? Inside, Rose battled the guilt. Had she betrayed Lila's trust by acting on her impulses? The moral quandary gnawed at her. Was it right to confess, or selfish to disrupt a platonic bond? That night, alone in her apartment, Rose paced the floor, her phone buzzing with ignored texts from Lila. "We need to talk," one read. But talk about what? The damage was done. She thought of her own family, her mother, a schoolteacher in Texas, who still prayed for Rose to find a nice man and settle down. Coming out had never been an option. The fear of rejection was paralyzing. Yet, in that kiss, Rose had tasted freedom, even if it came at the cost of isolation. The next morning, Lila showed up at Rose's door, coffee in hand, her eyes red from lack of sleep. "I didn't sleep," she admitted, stepping inside. "That kiss. It wasn't what I expected." Rose braced herself for the rejection, her heart sinking. But Lila continued. "It wasn't bad. It was confusing. I've always seen you as my sister, but now..." She trailed off, sitting on the couch, her mind clearly in turmoil. Rose sat beside her, the proximity electric. "I'm sorry if I crossed a line. I just couldn't pretend anymore." Lila shook her head. "Don't apologize." "But Rose, my life is complicated. My family, they'd never understand. And Jake, he's been hinting at proposing." Jake, Lila's boyfriend of 2 years, the stable engineer who fit perfectly into her parents' vision. Rose felt a stab of jealousy, but more than that, envy for the ease of straight relationships. As they talked, layers peeled back. Lila confessed her own doubts. How her relationships with men felt performative, like checking boxes on a societal list. "I've wondered sometimes," she said softly, "if there's more to me than what everyone expects." Rose's hope flickered, but she tamped it down. Pushing Lila could lead to resentment, to a friendship lost forever. The ethical tightrope was thin. Encourage exploration or step back and let Lila decide. Days turned into weeks of tense conversations. They avoided the sauna incident at first, sticking to safe topics, but the undercurrent pulled them deeper. One evening, over wine at Lila's place, the dam broke. What if I kissed you back? Lila asked, her voice barely audible. Rose's breath caught. Then what? We risk everything, friends, family, our jobs in this small-minded tech firm where gossip spreads like wildfire. Lila leaned in, their lips meeting again, this time mutual, tentative. But as quickly as it started, Lila pulled away. I can't, she whispered. Not yet. Rose nodded, understanding the war inside Lila. The pull of tradition versus the whisper of authenticity. That night Rose lay awake, questioning her choices. Was pursuing this love worth the pain it would inflict? The societal pressure loomed large, a reminder that for women like them, happiness often came with a price tag of alienation. Their friendship shifted, charged with unspoken possibilities. Rose attended a support group for LGBTQ women, hearing stories of disownment and heartbreak that mirrored her fears. You have to weigh the cost, one woman said. Rose did, constantly. Meanwhile, Lila distanced herself from Jake, citing work stress, but Rose knew it was more. The betrayal to Jake weighed on Lila. Ending a relationship for an uncertain one felt immoral, yet staying felt like a lie. A confrontation came at a mutual friend's wedding. Amid toasts to eternal love, Lila cornered Rose in the garden. I broke up with Jake, she confessed. He deserved better than my half-hearted commitment. Rose's joy was tempered by guilt. Because of me? Lila nodded. Partly, but mostly because I need to figure out who I am. The decision was a double-edged sword. Freedom for Lila, but the shadow of causing pain to an innocent man. As the file of their story unfolded, the tensions mounted. Rose's mother called, sensing something off. You sound distant, honey. Is there a boy? The lie stuck in Rose's throat. Hiding her truth was exhausting, but revealing it could sever family ties. Lila faced similar battles. Her sister, a staunch conservative, visited unexpectedly, spewing rhetoric about traditional values. Lila defended subtly, but the strain showed. In quiet moments, Rose reflected on the domino effect of that sauna kiss. It had awakened desires but also unleashed chaos. Was love worth the wreckage? The question haunted her as they navigated this new terrain. Each step a potential minefield of emotion and consequence. The weeks following Lila's breakup with Jake were a whirlwind of stolen glances and hesitant touches, but the real storm brewed beneath the surface. Rose found herself at work, staring at her computer screen, replaying every interaction. Had she manipulated Lila into this? The doubt crept in like fog, thick and disorienting. Lila, meanwhile, threw herself into therapy, unpacking years of suppressed questions about her identity. One afternoon in a cozy cafe in Portland, where they had escaped for a weekend to clear their heads, Lila opened up. My parents raised me to believe love looks a certain way. Man, woman, kids, white picket fence. Anything else is a sin. Rose listened, her own inner voice echoing similar indoctrination. I know. My dad left when I was 10, and Mom clung to the church like a lifeline. Coming out would break her. The conversation turned raw. Lila admitted to experimenting in college, a fleeting kiss with a roommate dismissed as drunk curiosity. But with Rose it felt different, real, terrifying. What if I'm just confused? What if I hurt you by figuring this out? Rose's heart ached. And what if you don't try? We both pay the price of regret. The moral dilemma hung heavy. Pursue happiness at the risk of mutual destruction, or retreat to safety. Back in Seattle, societal pressures intensified. Their tech company hosted a diversity seminar, where speakers touted inclusivity, but whispers in the break room revealed the hypocrisy. Did you hear about Sarah in marketing? Came out, and now no one invites her to team lunches. A colleague gossiped. Rose overheard, her stomach twisting. Coming out at work could mean professional isolation, lost promotions, another layer of sacrifice. Lila's family added fuel to the fire. Her mother called daily, probing about Jake. He was such a nice boy. What happened? Lila lied. We grew apart. But the guilt festered. One evening she confessed to Rose. I feel like a traitor. To him, to my family, to God. Rose held her, but inside she questioned her role. Was she the catalyst for Lila's pain? Or the light guiding her out? A betrayal came unexpectedly. Lila's ex, Jake, confronted her at a bar where she and Rose were having drinks. Is this why? He demanded, eyeing Rose with accusation. Lila froze, but Rose stepped in. It's not that simple. Jake's hurt turned to anger. You used me as a cover. The scene escalated, drawing stares, amplifying their secret. Lila broke down later. He was right. I led him on. Rose's inner turmoil peaked. Had her kiss set this in motion, causing collateral damage? The ethical weight pressed down. Was love selfish if it harmed others? She distanced herself slightly, giving Lila space, but the loneliness was crushing. Nights alone, Rose journaled her thoughts. Am I the villain in her story or the hero? The lines blur. Reconciliation attempts followed. They attended a pride event incognito, masks hiding their faces, but the vibrant crowd stirred something in Lila. Seeing them so free. I want that. Rose smiled but warned. It comes with battles. That night they shared a chaste embrace, the tension palpable, but Lila pulled back again. I'm scared of losing everything. Family interference escalated. Rose's mother surprised her with a visit, armed with blind date setups. You need to meet someone, she insisted. Rose deflected, but the pressure mounted. Mom, what if it's not a man? The words almost escaped, but she swallowed them, the deception eating at her soul. Lila faced a direct confrontation. Her sister, Emily, discovered texts on her phone. Who's Rose? Why so many hearts? Lila downplayed, but Emily pressed. If you're gay, Mom and Dad will disown you. The threat was real. Lila's family had cut off an uncle for similar reasons. Tears streamed as Lila recounted to Rose. I have to choose, you or them. The decision loomed like a guillotine. Rose urged, choose yourself. But Lila wavered, the internal conflict tearing her apart. In a moment of weakness, she suggested they pause their exploration. Rose felt betrayed. After all the vulnerability, was this the end? You're running, she accused. Lila shot back. And you're pushing me into a life I'm not ready for. The argument exposed cracks. Rose's impatience born of years in the closet, Lila's fear rooted in upbringing. They parted angry, the silence deafening. Rose reflected on the cost, lost friendship, potential heartbreak. Was awakening Lila worth this agony? Days later, a tentative reconciliation. Lila apologized. I need time, but I don't want to lose you. Rose agreed, but the trust was frayed. They navigated carefully, attending counseling together, unpacking traumas. But societal whispers persisted. Friends noticed the shift, questioning their closeness. Are you two? The denials felt like lies, adding to the moral burden. As high tension simmered, a workplace incident pushed boundaries. A homophobic joke from a boss during a meeting made Lila flinch. Rose defended subtly, but it cost her a project lead. The sacrifice was tangible, career setback for authenticity. Lila saw it, her resolve strengthening. You're braver than me. The file closed on a precarious balance, their bond tested but enduring. Yet, the shadows of family and society loomed, promising more confrontations. Rose wondered inwardly, how much more could they endure before breaking? The fragile truce between Rose and Lila held for a month, but cracks widened under mounting pressures. Rose's promotion denial stung, a direct result of her subtle advocacy, reminding her that visibility came with penalties in corporate America. Lila noticed her guilt compounding. I should have spoken up too, she said during a late-night call. Rose brushed it off, but internally she seethed. Why bear the brunt alone? Family dynamics exploded when Lila's parents announced a surprise visit to Seattle. They're coming to check on me after the breakup, Lila confided, panic in her voice. Rose offered support, but Lila hesitated. If they sense anything. The unspoken fear. Disownment, financial cutoff. Lila's job as a graphic designer didn't pay enough to survive without their help. The visit was a minefield. At dinner, Lila's mother probed. Any new boys? Rose, invited as the best friend, sat silently, her presence scrutinized. Lila's father preached about family values, quoting scripture that condemned unnatural affections. Lila nodded along, her betrayal cutting Rose deep. Later alone, Lila explained, I had to. For now. But Rose felt used, a secret shame. Inner monologues raged. Rose thought, am I worth the fight or just a phase? Lila wrestled. Loyalty to family or to my heart? The moral quandary intensified. Honor parents or honor self? Biblical teachings clashed with emerging desires, creating a vortex of doubt. A turning point came at a family barbecue. Lila's sister Emily cornered her. "I know about Rose. It's disgusting." Lila defended. "You don't understand." Emily threatened to tell their parents. The confrontation escalated, voices rising. Rose, overhearing, intervened. "Leave her alone." Emily sneered. "Stay out of our family." The fallout was swift. Lila's parents learned fragments demanding explanations. "Is this true? Are you one of them?" Lila denied vehemently, the lie shattering her. Rose watched from afar, heartbroken. "You chose them," she accused later. Lila sobbed. "I had no choice. They cut me off." The betrayal stung like acid. Rose pulled away, seeking solace in the support group. Stories of similar rejections fueled her resolve, but also her anger. "Why fight for someone who won't fight back?" she vented. The group advised patience, but Rose's patience waned. Lila, isolated, faced her own awakening. Cut off emotionally from family, she researched online, reading about internalized homophobia. "I've been living a lie," she admitted in therapy. The decision to come out simmered, but the cost loomed. Potential homelessness, loss of heritage. Reconnection happened unexpectedly. Rose's birthday party, thrown by friends, drew Lila despite the rift. Amid laughter, their eyes met, old chemistry sparking. Later on the balcony, Lila whispered, "I told them the truth." Rose's shock was profound. "What happened?" Lila's voice cracked. "They disowned me. Said don't come home." The revelation was a double blow. Joy at Lila's bravery, sorrow at the price. Rose held her, but guilt resurfaced. "This is my fault." Lila shook her head. "No, it's mine for hiding so long." The embrace was a lifeline, but the damage was done. Lila moved in temporarily, their cohabitation tense with unspoken rules. No romance, just support. Societal backlash followed. Friends divided. Some supportive, others distant, whispering about converting Lila. At work, rumors spread affecting projects. Lila lost a client who preferred traditional values. The sacrifices mounted: financial strain, social exile. Inner conflicts deepened. Rose questioned, "Is our love cursed by the pain it causes?" Lila pondered. Was coming out liberation or destruction? A heated argument erupted over finances. "I gave up everything," Lila yelled. Rose countered. "And I waited years." The words hung, exposing resentments. Healing began slowly. They attended couples counseling, unpacking traumas. "We need to rebuild trust," the therapist said. Rose agreed, but doubts lingered. A weekend retreat for LGBTQ couples offered perspective. Stories of resilience inspired them. Yet, external forces persisted. Rose's mother called, having heard rumors through mutual acquaintances. "Is it true? About you and Lila?" Rose confessed, bracing for rejection. "I can't support this," her mother said, hanging up. The loss was visceral, a piece of Rose dying. Lila comforted her, roles reversing. "We'll build our own family." But the words felt hollow amid grief. The moral debates raged. Defy society or conform? The choices, once abstract, now scarred their lives. As tensions crested, a glimmer emerged. Lila landed a freelance gig with an inclusive firm. A small victory. Rose advocated more openly at work, gaining allies. Their bond strengthened through adversity, but scars remained. With Lila's disownment fresh and Rose's maternal rift widening, their lives became a battlefield of survival and self-discovery. Living together amplified intimacies, but boundaries blurred, leading to moments of vulnerability. One night after a grueling day, Lila broke down. "I miss them, Rose. Was it worth it?" Rose held her, whispering assurances, but inwardly she doubted too. The price of authenticity seemed exorbitant. Workplace drama escalated. Rose's boss called her in, citing distractions. "Focus on the job, not personal issues." The veiled threat was clear: conform or face consequences. Lila faced similar scrutiny, her designs critiqued harshly. "Is this a phase?" a colleague sneered. The discrimination fueled anger, but speaking out risked unemployment. Social circles fractured further. A former friend, Mia, hosted a gathering excluding them. "It's awkward now," Mia texted. The exclusion hurt, highlighting societal intolerance. Rose reflected. Why must we pay for loving? Lila channeled pain into art, creating pieces about identity, but galleries rejected them as too controversial. Family wounds festered. Rose's mother sent letters, pleading for repentance. Come home, fix this. Rose tore them up, but the words haunted. Lila received silence from her parents, worse than anger. They act like I died, she confided. The emotional toll manifested in sleepless nights, anxiety attacks. A pivotal confrontation arose when Emily, Lila's sister, showed up unannounced. Mom's sick. She wants to see you, but only if you change. Lila wavered, the pull of family strong. Rose felt threatened. Don't go back to that toxicity. The argument ignited. You don't get it. They're my blood. Lila shouted. Rose retorted. And I'm your future? The rift deepened. Lila visited her family alone, leaving Rose in agony. Days passed without contact. Rose imagined the worst, Lila recanting, returning to heteronormativity. Her inner voice screamed. Have I lost her to their bigotry? Lila returned changed, resolute. I told them no. I won't deny who I am. Relief flooded Rose, but Lila's eyes held sorrow. Mom's heart condition worsened from the stress. The guilt was crushing. Was their love indirectly harmful? The moral ambiguity tormented. Prioritize self or spare others? Healing required sacrifices. They relocated to San Francisco, seeking a more accepting community. But the move cost savings and stability. New jobs were entry-level, a step back professionally. We're starting over, Rose said, masking fear. In the new city they found allies, a queer support network offering guidance. Stories of triumph over adversity inspired, but also highlighted ongoing struggles. A protest against anti-LGBTQ legislation drew them in, their first public act of defiance. Chanting amid crowds, Lila felt empowered, Rose proud. Yet betrayals lingered. An old friend leaked their story online, twisting facts into scandal. Comments flooded. Attention seekers. Family wreckers. The cyber harassment intensified inner doubts. Lila questioned, is this the life I want? Rose reassured, but her own resolve faltered. A moment of truth came during therapy. We must choose us fully, Rose said. Lila agreed, proposing they make it official partners, not just explorers. The commitment was exhilarating but daunting. No more hiding, Lila vowed. External validation trickled in. Rose's aunt, long estranged, reached out supportively. Live your truth. It was a bomb but couldn't erase losses. Lila's freelance work gained traction in progressive circles. A small win amid sacrifices. As high drama built, a health scare hit. Rose collapsed from stress, hospitalized briefly. Lila at her bedside. I can't lose you. The incident awakened them to fragility. We've paid enough, Rose whispered. They recommitted, focusing on building resilience. Societal debates raged around them. News of marriage equality wins contrasted with rising hate crimes. They volunteered, turning pain into purpose, but exhaustion set in. Is the fight ever over? Lila asked. In the heart of San Francisco's vibrant yet unforgiving streets, Rose and Lila forged a new existence, but the ghosts of their past clung like shadows. Rose's health scare had been a wake-up call, prompting them to prioritize well-being over constant battles. Yet, the world didn't pause. Societal prejudices persisted, manifesting in subtle discriminations. A denied apartment lease, judgmental stares at cafes. Lila's art career blossomed unexpectedly. A gallery showcased her work on queer identities, drawing crowds. This is my voice, she told Rose, pride shining. But success invited backlash. Conservative critics labeled it propaganda, echoing her family's disdain. The exposure forced Lila to confront lingering doubts. Was visibility worth the venom? Rose advanced in a new firm, one embracing diversity, but memories of past setbacks fueled caution. She mentored young LGBTQ employees, paying forward the support she craved. Internally, she battled resentment toward those who escaped such struggles, the straight colleagues with effortless lives. A reunion with fractured friends tested bonds. Mia apologized. I was scared of change. Forgiveness came hard. Rose questioned authenticity. Lila urged, holding grudges costs us more. The reconciliation was tentative, A step toward healing, but trust rebuilt slowly. Family ties mended unevenly. Rose's mother reached out via email. I miss you. Can we talk? The meeting was tense, tears flowing. I don't understand, but I love you. Partial acceptance was bittersweet. Progress yet incomplete. Lila's parents remained silent. A void she filled with chosen family. High-stakes drama peaked at a national conference where Lila spoke on her journey. Midway, Emily appeared, heckling from the audience. You're destroying our family. Security intervened, but the public humiliation scarred. Lila broke down backstage. Why can't they let me be? Rose comforted, but the incident ignited fury. We've sacrificed enough. The aftermath brought media attention, amplifying their story. Support poured in, but so did hate mail. The double-edged sword of visibility cut deep. In quiet reflection, they evaluated choices. Rose thought. The sauna kiss sparked revolution, but at what toll? Lila pondered freedom's price. Is it ever too high? They decided to elope quietly, a private vow amid chaos, symbolizing commitment. Post-elopement, challenges continued. Lila's health faltered under stress, mirroring Rose's earlier episode. We're burning out, she admitted. They sought balance, traveling to serene spots, reconnecting intimately without pressure. Awakening fully, they advocated louder, joining boards for LGBTQ rights. Victories came, policy changes, community bonds, but losses lingered. Estranged relatives lost opportunities. As their story crested, a final confrontation arose. Jake reappeared, seeking closure. I forgive you, he said. Lila replied. I'm sorry for the pain. The exchange freed her, but underscored collateral damage. In the end, they stood stronger, scars as badges. Rose whispered, we chose love. Lila nodded, and paid dearly. But was the betrayal of societal norms justified by personal truth? Or did the harm to others tip the scales toward wrong?